Welcome back to Ozarks Live. It's time again to return to the Fiji Islands to give you the latest in the world of Survivor.
Yeah, this episode, again, very high impact. And that's what I love about kind of like the post-merge part of Survivor is like, it's just nonstop. It feels like after that, you know?
It really does.
There's always something very
fast-moving.
enticing happening. Yes, the challenges are very high energy. You never really know who's going to go home because there's so many of them voting. So this episode was really good.
We were talking a few minutes ago. We're getting kind of nervous about who might sneak up and win this whole thing.
Yeah. Which is the good part about Survivor, but also the bad part, because it's awesome that it really is anyone's game in essence, but then also it's scary that like your favorite might not be that anyone's game person. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's really interesting because I never have any favorites to start this. I really didn't.
Yeah.
But I do now.
Yeah.
The one that's carrying his team through this, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, I just feel like is more of a deserving player than some of the others.
Well, and it's tough when we get to this point too, because now it's like we finally know who we like, but we also definitely know who we don't kind of want to win, you know? So like it just makes it tough.
I hate to admit that, but it's true.
Yeah. So this reward challenge was really exciting to see. It was another water challenge. And let me just say the editing on this, I mean, Jonathan's dive into the water was like cinematic. It was like a cinematic moment. I was like, what in the heck?
And that's what I'm saying. I think he deserves, if there's anyone deserving, it would be him.
Yes. Now, to a little bit of a surprise because it was really close, Jonathan pulls out the win for his team in this reward challenge again. But I will say, Omar was on the other team and he was really, really close. He had almost all the balls in. But then Jonathan, of course, is like, nope, somebody get in the water. I'm getting up here. I have to be Omar. And it was just like funny to watch. Now, another piece of this reward challenge is that Jeff reveals that one person will have to sit out and sit on the bench. But what the players didn't know is that there was a secret advantage hidden under the bench.
We knew that because of last season, but they didn't. So Marianne's the one that was supposed to sit out. And the last minute, Drea is like, I don't even like peanut butter jelly, which was one of the rewards that we're getting. So she's, I wonder, does she really not like it, or was that her excuse because she thought something might be going on?
I don't know. And,
I don't know.
A very kind of random opinion. In a conversation earlier this week, I was saying something about the way that went down, which, again, maybe just editing, it felt like it all happened so fast that it almost felt like a producer plant, which was interesting to me. I just felt like Drea volunteered so fast for Marianne, who she doesn't even like. So I was like, how does she, you know, I was like, that's very interesting that she would step in for Marianne. And then it was like, immediately she looked under the bench, which granted, maybe she's just a super fan. She has knowledge, but the editing of it made me a little suspicious this time. I'm not going to lie to you.
I agree.
Now, what was interesting is her advantage turned into a bigger ordeal back at camp because she had to go and dig for it by the water well, and then she found it. But the thing was that it was hidden in this like tube of red paint. So she was covered in red paint. She had to completely get it off of herself before she went back to camp, which was hilarious because she thought she was being really sneaky until she got caught by Tori.
Yeah, Tori noticed a little bit of paint there on her arm. And, you know, she had a reason, but it didn't really make sense. And so Tori knew something was up. But I felt like that kind of just like fell flat at that point because she kind of pushed, but then it just fell. I'm like, why didn't she ask her a little bit harder what's going on?
I know.
Or is that, do you just know something and you just decide to keep it quiet?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I don't know. And Drea's lie was kind of also weird because she was like, oh, it's the paint from the tribe flag. But then no one had painted it. So I was like, well, how was that your lie you came up with? So it was really odd.
How did she miss the paint on her arm?
Now, what's interesting is this is Drea's like 4th or 5th advantage that she has in her possession currently.
She was sitting there showing us all her trophies.
I know. She was like counting them all out. I know. And this one is like, I don't remember what they call it, but it's like the steal an advantage or whatever, where essentially like if you have an idol or some kind of advantage and I know that you have it, if I say, Kayma, do you have it? You have to give it to me. Yes. Now, we saw this played in a really great way last season because that's when Liana thought that it was, I think, maybe Xander that had it, but Xander had actually given it to somebody else. So they played it off really well. So hopefully, maybe we'll get, I know, hopefully we'll get something exciting out of that again.
But again, that one fell flat as well. We kind of learned about it, but then it was never mentioned in this episode. It'll come back.
Yes. And we see another kind of something that happened at last season as well. So they get to the immunity challenge, and Jeff is wagering rice with them again, which he did this last season. But the wager is that he will give them rice that would feed the whole tribe for up to 4 days, but multiple people have to sit out of the competition, essentially forfeiting their own immunity. And so we do finally see 4 people sit out, but it was very like dramatic this time. And like Marianne gave this whole plea of like, I'm doing so much and I feel like I'm on the bottom and people on the top should sit out and blah, blah, blah.
That
it was
almost
kind of
felt staged,
yeah,
didn't it?
yeah, well, yeah, and it was definitely fake, and I think she knew that because she kind of mentioned that her emotions she could use as a weapon, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow,
so,
that is an interesting
I don't know
player.
I don't know what her deal was on that deal.
Yes, but unfortunately, immunity is won again by Tori this week, who we are just not fans
We're
of.
just not.
So I'm just like,
nothing personal. It's
Yeah.
just the way she's playing the game. I just think she's kind of nasty to everybody, and I don't
agree.
like it.
Yeah, I don't either. Now, this was kind of another interesting tribal. So the Majority Alliance, which has been like 8 of them working together the last few episodes, the edit shows that it seems to appear between Chanel and Romeo. And the thing is, they were fully going to vote out Chanel until Romeo became very paranoid. And then you see a lot of these like kind of bigger like names running their alliance fighting over who should go, which I think is kind of a preview of some conflict to come, because there's definitely too many cooks in the kitchen this season. A lot of people thinking they're running it when I don't actually know who's running it.
And
you know
then
what I mean?
something else happens and
Yes.
people vote for people that you haven't heard about that they were going to vote for.
Yes.
I don't know. There's
Yeah.
more stirring the pot here.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Now, Chanel was the one voted out, obviously majority vote. So Romeo was safe this time, but I don't know how the rest of the season's gonna go. One quick tidbit, next episode, Jeff announces that there's 2 immunity necklaces on the line and 2 eliminations, which will be interesting because last season they were split into 2 tribes, and based off who's in what half of the tribe, the vote could go anyway. There could be someone really unexpected out this next episode, which is exciting.
I can't wait to see the next one.
Yeah.
We'll see. And you can watch the next episode of Survivor 42 right here on Color 10.
That's right. Or you can catch up on the entire season or past seasons on Paramount Plus or CBS.com.
We'll be right back.